episode number 24 of the Sports Consiglieres podcast. My name is Jim Whalen. Along with me always is my consigliere, Jerry Calla. We have another special guest here. He hails from Temple, Texas. Played at Texas Tech. He was drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in 1980. Played with the Giants from 1981 to 85, and unfortunately had to finish up his career with the Jets. So it's my pleasure to introduce number 37 for the Giants, Larry Flowers. Larry, you only played 4 years for the Giants. It seemed like more, but thank you for coming on the show, and I really appreciate you coming on. Thanks for the memories of being a Giant. So.
Thank you for having me. And actually, it was 5 years. So I was there my rookie year in 1980.
Oh, okay.
85, the half a year I spent with the Jets in 85.
Oh, okay, actually, that is right. That is right. So, growing up in Texas, the movie Friday Night Lights is in Temple, Texas. Is that true to form down there in Texas, football wise?
Everywhere in Texas is like that.
Okay.
Everywhere.
And then you played Texas Tech 76. Just doing research for the show. Surprisingly, I guess a young coach named Bill Parcells was a defensive coordinator. What was your take as Bill Parcells as a college coach and compared to a pro coach?
Everything is the same. He coached the same way that he coached at Texas Tech. He coached in pro. So there wasn't any difference. I knew what to expect from him, and he knew what to expect from me. So coaching is just his thing.
And just you talk a little bit about your time back in the college days down there in Texas. I guess it was the Big Eight, right? It wasn't really like these monster conferences now. So,
as back in those days, I think it was called the Southwest Conference.
The Southwest Conference, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And I guess after your playing career, it looks like you had a couple coaching changes. I guess midstream, I guess the offensive coordinator became your coach in '78, and then you started off your freshman year, started strong, and then you kind of petered out. But did you know you were going to be able to get to the league when you graduated in '80? Did you think that was a possibility, or?
Well, I had a very, very strong junior year at Texas Tech. By my senior year, first game of the season, I fractured my ankle, and I missed most of the season. I played the first and second and last game of that season, and I guess they went off my my junior year and was drafted in the 4th round by Tampa Bay.
Now, Larry, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's a great honor. Somebody my age, growing up in North Jersey, all Giants. That played in the 80s, they were like, as a kid, you guys were like gods to me. And it's always a good time for me personally to have somebody like you on. We had Perry Williams on, we had Billy Yard on, a lot of good memories. Then we had Stephen Baker on. But the one thing I wanted to say, so you get drafted by the Buccaneers. What was the biggest difference now? You go from Tampa Bay and you go to the new Ray Perkins, right? You went there when it was his first year, correct?
Correct.
So how much of it, because I know Billy Yard gave us a few stories about Ray. So how much of a difference was the culture from Tampa, to the Ray Perkins Giants?
Well, the day I got cut from Tampa Bay, I went home to Texas, and the next day Ray Perkins called. And I wasn't there. My brother told me that Ray Perkins called, and I came back. He called me back. He asked me, did I want to play football? And I said, yes. And he put me on a plane the next day. And I came up to New York, and everything happened since then.
Now, how is it? Because Bill Ard gave us a little insight. He said you guys went through absolute hell in training camp with Ray Perkins. And, it's legendary that he ran a very tough camp. Phil Simms often referenced the 3-a-days. So can you touch upon how difficult training camp was with Ray Perkins?
The training camps was very, very hard. We did a grueling 2-a-days, sometimes 3-a-days, but a lot of players, it was hot, and we practiced on the goose field, I can remember, and it was very grueling, and everybody, learned from that we had a very, very strong coach that was very disciplined on us and looked for the best of us to come out the best of all of us.
And
Larry,
now,
you what? Go ahead, Jerry. Go ahead.
so now you come. You're a happy man. You like you said, you get cut from Tampa. You hook up with the Giants. 81. Scott Bruner comes on. You guys finish strong. But before we get into the end of the season, when you came to the Giants, who did you become close with? What other players?
I came close with Mark Haynes and Ernest Gray and Harry Carson, and I think LT was there a little bit. I was there before LT, so Harry Carson and Ernest Gray and Mark Haynes, mostly I came close with.
Okay, so now fast forward now. What was again one of my I mean, again, I'll never forget as a kid how happy my dad was when the Giants won the wild card game against the Eagles. Can you explain the mindset of the team, first of all, because you guys had to beat the Cowboys on the last game of the year? So can you talk a little about that last game of the year against Dallas, please?
I think that was a very memorable game, but I can't remember it that far back. But I think it was the Cowboys that we had won against, and we were looking forward to making the playoff. We beat them. We were going to be in the playoff, and then our choice was probably going to be Philadelphia or San Francisco, one of them at the beginning. But anyway, I think the Cowboys was in our way of making the playoffs that year. I think it was the first time in a while that we had made the playoffs. So I really don't remember the game that much, but I do remember the Philadelphia game because we had an excellent special team game against the Eagles, because I can remember
Absolutely.
Mike Dennis coming down and recover the fumble. I think it was Mike Dennis, I don't remember. But Mark Haynes, one of them. Well, someone recovered the fumble, and it clinched our playoff berth to go play San
Absolutely,
Francisco.
like you said, Mark Haynes, who had a solid career with the Giants and the Broncos, a Pro Bowler. He recovers the kickoff, and then you
Right.
had Leon, I believe Leon Bright, if I'm not mistaken, he scored. So you had a few people that normally don't get in the end zone and again, Rob Carpenter,
Correct.
he ran right over the Eagles that game. So that was
Correct.
probably and again, having somebody like yourself from that team, is a big honor for me, because that was like the first game that really cemented, how important, being a Giant fan was, because again, it was a long time since you guys made the playoffs, let alone won a playoff game. So
correct. Then we turned around, I
Just
think we wanted to get the playoff again the next year. So it was just a big plus for us. And in both years we played against San Francisco and lost.
and that was also 81 is a strike year too. So how did that affect you coming on? You're trying to earn a roster spot. You're trying to earn a roster spot. So
I think I had got cut right before the strike had started. Then the strike started the week after. Then I think the following week, Ray Perkins called me back again to come back and play, because I think Mike Mayock got hurt, and I came back that following week.
And then what do you think about? I mean, you watch the game now, because we'll go back to the 81, but for you, you made your kind of chops on special teams play. I cut up a film just to promote the show, and then just some of the hits you made back there, just running down. I mean, those hits you probably wouldn't have a game check, because you're getting fined so much. So just describe your game. And do you like the new rules that they have now? As far as looks like they're lining up for a 50-yard dash. So
I can remember running down the field saying that you can't touch me. Now you don't have that much room to run down the field to do that. And I really don't. I think it takes a lot away from the game. It really does. I mean, I feel like, hey, when you're kicking off to opponent, you have an opportunity to either score, or you have an opportunity to either get tackled or not, So it's a rule that they're trying to protect the players, which I can understand that, because there are a lot of injuries out there, and knees and shoulders and backs are very, very much part of the game.
But man alive, I mean, you were, I mean, you're some, I mean, just some, I mean, the special teams that you had back then, back in the early '80s. I mean, Leon Bright was synonymous with not taking a fair catch. So I mean, but was Romeo Cornell your special teams coach, or did he come in with
Yes,
Parcells?
Romeo. I think Romeo Cornell was when I left. He was the special team guy. I think Bill Belichick. No, yeah, Belichick was the. I can't remember special team. I think Belichick was a special team coach.
Yeah, you might be right, because
81.
I think when
Yeah,
Parcells
81.
was
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So did you know that he was going to be Bill Belichick? Was like, just did you know that he had that football mind back then?
Yes, yes. He was a very, very intelligent football coach, and he when he took over at the linebacker coach, and I knew that he was going to be very, very special in the league.
Now, Larry, fast forward. So you play 81 for Coach Perkins. 82 is the strike season. Now, come 83, Parcells takes over. How was that transition from Bill Parcells, defensive coordinator, to head coach? And what was your relationship with Coach Parcells?
Like I say, Bill coached me in college and at Texas Tech for a year, I think it was. When I got there, it was my freshman year. He was there. And I think he was there my sophomore year. And I remember. But I knew what type of coach he was. I knew what he was expected from each player. And he was a no-nonsense coach. And, he wants you to give 100% every time you come out there on the field.
Well, was there a difference? Because I know, like, going from his first year to his second year, seemed like there was a switch that kind of went with him. The first year, there's a 3-12-1. It was well documented that first year. That second year, was there anything that changed that you noticed from Parcells' first year to his second year?
Well, there was a little change that I think we had changed the offensive coordinator, or got better players, and people was more wanted to win more. I guess that's what it was.
Now, Larry, if do you still stay in touch with any of your old Giant teammates?
I got in touch with. Wait a minute. I think on Facebook I friends with. What's his name? I can't remember his name. But anyway, Curtis McGriff was one of my Facebook, and man, my mind is going too. But there's a couple other guys. Floyd Eddings. I got in contact with him a couple of years ago. He and I conversate a lot on Facebook.
And then just going back to your career, like playing with the Giants, Parcells. What did they use you in this scheme with, like, Belichick? Where did they use you? Like, was it mostly in the nickel?
I played. Yes, I played mostly in the nickel. My last couple of years I played as a nickel back as a deep safety. They use it as a nickel and deep safety. I wish they had used me a little bit more. I'd probably been more productive.
Yeah.
I took what they gave me.
So now you leave the Giants. You're 27. You go to the Jets. What would you say was the biggest difference? Obviously, it was a short commute for you to go kind of across the hall.
Well, yes.
So again, the Jets too, right? 85, the Jets
Yeah.
had a decent year. So how
Yes,
did you like how did you like playing for Coach Walton?
Well, they gave me a chance. I thought my career was over after I left the Giants. The following week, the week of there, we were supposed to play Los Angeles, so I took off and went down to Las Vegas. Went down to New Jersey shores and camped out there for a while. Then I got a call from my agent to go to the Jets camp, and that they want to give me a try out there. So I went there and got along with a couple of fellows that I had already known that was on the Jets, and had a pretty good year there too.
How was playing with Mark Gastineau?
It was very wild. I mean, hey,
Mm.
I was playing with the sack exchange, and those guys was very, very gun ho of second quarterbacks.
Yeah, well, it had to make your job easy in the secondary because I mean, you knew that things were probably to come out quick. So
Right, right. Didn't get to play too much on the defense, but I played a lot of special teams and did a lot of plays on special teams for them. And we went to the playoffs and played Buffalo and lost up in Buffalo.
So,
and I guess
Larry,
I was
if you had to
okay.
say, what was your favorite moment being a New York Giant?
Every moment was my favorite at being a New York Giants because I love the Giants. I mean, hey, they gave me a shot, and hey, I love playing in the Giant Stadium and all the people and the camaraderie that's around the whole team.
And then, well, Larry, I mean, just doing a research for the show. After you got cut from the Jets, did you try to get back in the league, or you kind of realized that maybe was it injuries that kind of forced you out? But like, what happened after the Jets after
I'm,
that Jets season?
Well, I never got any calls back that year. I think Parcells was supposed to have called me back that year, but I really wasn't interested in playing anymore because I thought my career was over with. So I just said, nah, forget about it. I don't even want to play anymore. Just go on
Yeah,
and work with my hands and work with my brains.
yeah. And then Jerry alluded to we had a couple former players on, and we're kind of like on this 100th anniversary kick, and it kind of revisited our time, when we got started watching football and the Giants and your teams, and then it led us to you. But like you had some adversity after you left the Giants. You care to talk about that as far as your time there and like what you learned from that and what happened after after your playing career? Or?
Well, I did. Yes, I talk about it because uh, there was a real low in my career and in my life, and I kind of made some big mistakes in at the wrong place and at the wrong time.
Yeah,
And I served 18 months for it, and had a lot of time to think about where I was going to go in the rest of my life. And good thing it is that I thank the Lord that He gave me great parents that taught me how to work in life, and that hey, life goes on after a big mistake. So hey, I recovered from it real well, and I got a family, grandkids, 4 kids, and 16 grandkids, and
oh
right
wow,
now I'm just happy
so you're busy.
just living my life.
Yeah, and when you were going through that time, is anybody you kind of leaned on or anything you kind of did to kind of, I mean, listen, that it's hard time. It's hard time. I mean, listen, people make mistakes. People make, people make mistakes. It's just, somebody told me that's why pencils have erasers. Everybody makes mistakes, but anybody kind of that, you find out who your friends are when you go through some sort of adversity. So, I mean, did anybody surprised when you reached out during that time, or is it just kind of you lean on your parents?
Well, I did have someone that I did. Harry Carson reached out to me. As a matter of
Okay.
fact, I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, is where that day I had did was incarcerated at, and he came and did an interview with me right there in the facility, and I talked with him, and we were on. I think he aired it on one of the shows that he had, and we talked about a lot of things of how I got there and what would I do when I get out and stuff like that. So I mentioned to him that I really just wanted to get out and just help other people to see the things that happened to me, that it can happen to them, but I can stop you from going down that road.
Well, Larry, I mean, listen, that's obviously we appreciate you, being candid, talking about this. It's a great lesson in life. I mean, you made a mistake, and you recovered from that mistake, and like you said, what'd you say, 16 grandchildren? I mean, God bless you.
Yes.
Yes, 16 grandchildren.
So what
Yes.
did you do to kind of fill your time then, Larry? After you kind of got you right the ship a little
Well,
bit. I mean,
I went into construction. I went into construction labor, and I went to the labor union in carpentry, and I learned that trade. And I've been in carpentry and scaffolding for the last 27 years. And I'm about maybe 1 month away or 2 months away of retiring.
no,
Oh,
okay,
good for
wow,
you.
congratulations.
Good for
So
you.
So you're in Richmond, Virginia area now. Is that where you
Yes,
yeah.
yes, Richmond,
So
Virginia.
I mean, listen, my in-laws in Richmond. It's exploding. You must have been busy down there because it's been exploding
Booming,
as far as.
it's a booming town. Yes, it is. Yes,
Oh
it's
yeah.
very booming. I thought I was getting away from all the traffic and stuff like that. It seemed like it followed me all the way down here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. That Harrisburg is on the 95 is getting. No, Fredericksburg is getting worse on
Oh,
95. But
it's
what led
construction
you
since I
down?
moved down here.
What led you
Well,
down
I have
to?
a Richmond. I
Yeah,
have
because
a cousin that live here. I have a cousin that live here, and I came to visit him one day, and he was staying in Norfolk, Virginia at the time, and I said, I was getting tired of the hassle in New Jersey, so I moved down here to Richmond, and and I've been here since.
Larry, you got to be careful though. That's Redskin territory, baby.
yeah.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of Redskin down here, and there's a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans down here than it is Redskin fans. So, hey,
Yeah.
none of them
Cowboy
bother me.
fans are all over. They're like
Yeah, I know.
cockroaches,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
right,
our producer's
right.
a Cowboy fan. But
Yeah.
did you ever get did you ever get back in contact with the game though? Did you ever like coach? Some players, think it's therapeutic to get coach. Anybody? Did you get back in the game or did you, did anybody ever reach out to
No,
you
no,
so
no.
did any of your
I just
any of your
blocked it
kids
out
play or
completely.
no?
No football, nothing. Excuse me?
Any of your kids play though football? Any of your four kids play
No,
football?
no, no. I've got a nephew right now that's back in Texas. He's doing pretty good, and he's going to be probably one of the high draft choices. I mean, college players in the country in
No,
25.
what's his name? So we'll keep an eye on him.
His name is going to be Xavier Wales.
Xavier Wales. Okay.
Does he wear number 37?
No. I think it's number 1 or number 7. I think I couldn't see it on jersey, but I think it's one of those numbers.
Well, listen, Larry, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show and sharing your time with us, and then thanks for getting right back to me. Like every time I hear the name Larry Flowers, it brings back a lot of good memories. Wearing the blue and white uniform in the Giants. So, like I said, this 100th anniversary kind of had us revisit, a lot of the players that were highlighted, and you definitely were one of them in that time. So, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you, telling your story. And, listen, not everything in life is difficult, and everybody's going to go through something in life. So I'm glad that you kind of came out
Right.
the other side. You became
Right.
it became a positive, role model for your kids, your 16 grandkids. So like every
Yes.
episode, I'll take this out with Jerry. You want to finish this episode
Absolutely.
out?
So again, number 37, Larry Flowers. We have a nice Larry. We'll have to send it to you. We have a nice little clip of all special
All right.
teams plays that will probably be. You would have probably got called for personal fouls in today's game. But as we know,
right.
Larry, those
Yeah.
80s Giants, there was nobody tougher. So again, thanks
That's
for
right.
coming on.
Right.
Always
All right,
sharing
thank
good
you for having
memories
me.
of the 1980s. Again,
Right.
a 5-year New York Giant, Larry Flowers, number 37, shows you that, sometimes your life takes a turn and you can rebound and become positive. And, we wish you all the best. 1 year away
Right,
from
thank you.
retirement. All the best to
Right.
you and the grandkids. And thanks again, Larry. It was special for
Right,
us.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
This is episode number 23. This episode was produced by Chop Sports Media, Dave Sturcio. Larry, can't thank you enough. And, good luck to you in retirement and enjoy those grandkids, sir.
All right, thank you.